Welcome to Midnight True Tales, where true stories are stranger than fiction. Turn off the lights, and now let's begin. Before I even begin, I want to make something very clear. This is not a story I created. This is something I've experienced myself, and I still cannot explain it to this day. You may not believe it, but I swear every detail I'm about to share is real. This is a story from someone living in the Middle East, in a quiet neighborhood where nights feel heavier than usual, and silence carries more than just stillness. I'm not very good at writing introductions that capture attentions, and I'm not wise enough to explain everything I have experienced. I'm just someone who loves writing and finds comfort in the quiet of the night. Because the night has a way of revealing things the day refuses to show. What brought me here were the true stories people share online, stories I read every night with care, studying every details. And one night I realized I had a story of my own, a story I still can't fully explain. I call it Kind Guest. It all started about a year ago. My family and I moved into a new house in a quiet neighborhood somewhere in the Middle East. It was a fresh start, a new home, and new neighbors, new life. We were happy. Like any family, we quickly got to know the people around us. My brother and I became close with some of the young men in our street. We spent time together, laughed, shared stories, and everything felt normal. Until one evening, everything changed. That night, I had plans to meet my neighbor, Luai. He told me he would come over right after sunset. After finishing my prayers, I went up to the rooftop and watched the street below and waiting. Then I saw him. At the far end of the street, about a few hundred feet away, I would say, walking slowly, a bag over his shoulder, getting closer and closer, until he was just a few steps away from my house, maybe 30 feet at most. I rushed downstairs and opened the door, but nothing was there, no one was around. At first, I thought he was joking, maybe hiding somewhere nearby to scare me. I called out his name once or twice, but nothing, only silence. A strange heavy silence that made the air feel wrong. And then I searched the street, nearby houses, everywhere I could think of, but he was gone. No trace of him, no sound, no anything, no explanation. Only seconds had passed. There was no way he could have gone that far. I pulled out my phone and called him. He answered immediately. There was loud background noises like gathering. "Where are you?" I asked. He replied casually, "I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. I'm at a family event tonight." I froze, because I had just seen him just a moment before walking toward me. And then the next day, I told my mother what happened. I expected that she wouldn't believe me. Instead, she went quiet. Then she said something I will never forget. "2 days ago," she said, "I saw your sister outside with her child." She described them very clearly. But then, the child suddenly disappeared, and my sister walked straight into a wall, she said. I felt my stomach drop. I wasn't the only one. She leaned closer and warned me, "Do not follow them. Don't tell them lead you somewhere empty." But I didn't listen to my mom. That night, I came back from the market. The street was dark. The power was out. Only faint shadows moved under the street lights. Then I saw them. I saw 2 men walking ahead of me, entering my street. Something inside me pushed me to follow, so I did. Step by step, I got closer until I was just behind them, barely a few feet away. They were talking, moving their hands, acting completely normal, but I heard nothing, not even a single word, even though I was right behind them. I turned on my phone flashlight and pointed toward them. They didn't even react. They didn't turn. They didn't stop talking, as if I didn't even exist, or as if they didn't see me at all. I followed them past my house. My heart was pounding very hard with every step. Then it happened. One of them turned and walked straight through a barbed wire fence, like it wasn't there. The other one walked directly into a solid wall and disappeared. No sound, no impact, just gone. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was almost passing out. I stood there frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe properly. Then, a minute later, the lights came back, filled the street again. Everything looked normal. I slowly looked down at the ground, at the sand beneath my feet. No footprints, nothing was there, except mine. And since that night, I never walked that street alone anymore. Because I learned something that I can never forget. I was never alone. Not then, not before, not even that night. And before you go, I would truly love to hear from you as well. If you have experienced something you can explain, or if you have a true story of your own, share it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I would love to feature your stories in the future episode, because maybe you are not the only one who went through something like this. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's stories, do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. We upload every Monday and Thursday. Until then, stay safe, and I will see you again.